Good morning, Ceres Christian Church. And this morning, we've got to talk about it. Talk about what, you might ask? We need to talk about death. Well, there's a good morning to you. A bright good morning. Let's talk about death. Well, death is on our minds right now. And the fear of death is on our minds. And some of us are overwhelmed by this fear. But let me ask you a question. Why now? Why now? Some of you are thinking this guy's a little nutty because the coronavirus, bro, that's why. Actually, I don't think so. This is why I say this. For you to contract the coronavirus and then die, the numbers actually prove that the chances of that happen are relatively, very in fact, low. The chances of you actually dying have always been very high. You and I are mortal. You and I are going to die. Some of you look back over your lives and you're probably thinking, I don't even know how I made it here today. I should have been dead a long time ago. It's not that we're going to contract the coronavirus that we are overwhelmed. It's what the coronavirus did to us. And what it did to us is it shattered and obliterated our false sense of control. And we've taken that false sense of control, and what we did with it is we used it to fend off our fear of death. That's why we're overwhelmed by our fear. But the Apostle Paul had a different take on death. The Apostle Paul faced death every single day. The Apostle Paul, he was in danger of being captured and persecuted and killed by the religious establishment around him. He was in danger of being killed by some of the more local business owners who were negatively affected by his preaching of the gospel. And the Apostle Paul at any moment could have contracted a disease that you and I would cure today with a quick trip to Walgreens. Paul faced death every day. And yet in Philippians 1:21 he says, "For me to live is Christ, and to die is gain." What Paul is saying is, man, if I live, then I get a chance to do God's kingdom work. If I live, then what I can do is still serve the God that saved me. I could do Jesus' work while I'm alive. But if I die, then I get to go be with that Jesus. So for him, it was win-win. And what I want us to do this morning is to have that same mindset, to embrace the same thinking about death that Paul had. That man, by God's grace, if through this and on in our lives, God continues to extend our lives, then that's awesome, right? Because you and I, we get a chance to do God's kingdom work. You and I get to go hand in hand with Jesus and to be his hands and to be his feet on this planet while we're here. But if in God's sovereignty, he decides to take us home, then guess what? That's great. Because finally, you and I will see face to face Jesus, our beloved Savior, and we will be with him for eternity in eternal bliss. It's win-win. So beloved, today, what I want you to do is I want you to give up this false sense of control and rest in, and not only rest in, but to find hope in the fact that God has your life in his hands. And beloved, your life is safe in his hands today. Okay, I love you. We'll see you tomorrow. God bless you.